Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Cali Sports Report. I'm Ethan Hanson. That's Zach Groff. I actually pronounced his name correctly for once. So let's get into a big week of sports. We didn't have our show Wednesday, but Friday. But today we're going to address Argentina beating the living heck out of the U.S. and why I feel it was probably the most important game in U.S. history. Of course, we got the draft. The Lakers getting that bank, doing very, very well in the draft. A couple of disappointments across the board from some teams. Some teams lucked out. Of course, you got Derrick Rose becoming a New York Knicks. Like the Dodgers have gone streaking. And then we've got the UEFA matches, the knockout round coming up this weekend, and it's going to be very, very intriguing. 8 soccer games in a matter of 3 days in France, and I think it's going to be pretty compelling. But first, we got to start off with the draft. The Lakers got Brandon Ingram, the second overall pick, and if you are the Lakers right now, you could not be more happy with what you got. I mean, it was pretty much manifest destiny that the Lakers were going to get him. However, I thought if the 76ers were smart, instead of going with the typical pick and adding now a fourth center to go along with Joel Embiid, Nerlens Noel, Jahlil Okafor, I thought that the 76ers might have been smart and maybe gotten the best scorer in the draft. Instead, they just added another athlete, but not really going anywhere with that pick. Lakers get a solid young guy
in Brandon
Ingram. And to me, this is just, the best possible thing that could have happened to the Lakers.
This is exactly the draft that we needed to have as the Lakers, because as I said on Monday, hopefully this is the last time we have a top 5 pick, and we really need to knock this one out of the park. And I feel like Brandon Ingram is the pick. I mean, Ben Simmons would have been nice, but Brandon Ingram was a great pick, and there's a lot of potential for him, but he doesn't have to carry the team all on his own. We have a lot of other talent around him, and we have the $60 million to go after free agents starting next Friday.
Yeah, $60 million to spend in the salary cap. You got Jimmy Butler as a free agent. You got Kevin Durant as well. Shut up, man. I heard John Ireland talk about how LeBron was going to come because of Space Jam 2. John, God. Lakers fans need to stop it. Just, okay, you know what? We got Brandon Ingram, but let's just hold it right there, curb the enthusiasm. But the thing that I'm enthusiastic about is the fact that this guy is a complete scorer. I mean, he's 6'9", he's got a very, very long wingspan. He can potentially play the 1 to the 4. What?
He's a 7'3" wingspan.
Yeah, he's got a 7'3" wingspan, and he shot 40% from 3. Now we're getting Luke Walton, who coached the best 3-point shooting team in the history of the NBA. He shot 60% within the 2 range within the arc. Lakers needed a score. They got that, and also people are very, 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 very. They tend to forget the fact that the Lakers. I mean, it was the first year that they had actually gotten a chance to actually play with all that young talent. I mean, Julius Randle broke his leg, literally in the first half of his first NBA game of his career. So you had a setback like that with him, so he couldn't really develop his game. Finally, you get everybody on the court with a curmudgeon of a coach like Byron Scott. I mean, I love Byron Scott and the things that he's done for the Lakers as a player, but for the type of team that he wanted to coach, it just didn't fit this team. And it's good to have Luke Walton, and now we're adding Brandon Ingram into the mix.
I feel like last year, if you look at the Lakers' record, they were awful. They were bad. They were just terrible. But you're not taking into account the fact that there were several games against competitive teams where going into the last 6-7 minutes of the game, it was a toss-up. And that is what hopefully Brandon Ingram and hopefully Luke Walton and hopefully the guy that got in the second round, what's his name?
Yeah, Vika, the guy from Croatia, the second rounder who is 7'1", 260. He's a little bit slow, not necessarily he's definitely no Karl Anthony Towns. He's not crazy athletic, but he's got good direction. He blocks a lot of shots. He can get big on you, and pretty much the shot blocker that the Lakers needed to address. I just don't see Roy Hibbert really fitting into that role. In addition, you got about 10 or 11 free agents out there with in terms of being the center with Joakim Noah. You got Bismack Biyombo, who, I thought that he made a big step and I think established himself as one of the top centers in the league. Played brilliantly in place of Jonas Valanciunas. I think in terms of free agency, he could probably be the dark horse signing that could really elevate a team. What do you think?
I definitely think so, and I mean, I feel like the Lakers have a lot of potential next year. As I said, they were close in a lot of games. We beat Golden State, and they weren't having a terribly bad night. I mean, they were not having a Golden State night, but they were not having it wasn't like Steph Curry wasn't playing, and neither was Klay Thompson. It was they won. I mean, there was potential there, and their wins and their losses don't show the whole story. And if Brandon Ingram doesn't have to be the guy who puts the team on his back and says, all right, let's do this, because hopefully Luke Walton will be able to get somebody with that $60 million in cap space. But there's also other talent around him. There's Jordan Clarkson, there's Russell, there's what was the guy's name?
Jordan Clarkson, Julius Randle, D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Anthony Brown, who's a pretty good three-point shooter. Larry Nance Jr., who was really a dark horse pick because he was from Wyoming. He bounced around to different schools. There was a lot of questions about whether he could be physically fit. But there's a lot of good young athletic guys on this team. And now that you've added a scorer like Ingram to add into the mix, and now you got that whole free agent market out there who's saying, well, the Lakers haven't won a playoff game in 2012. That's the last time that they even went to the playoffs. So, I mean, if I'm a free agent in the NBA and I'm looking around, and let's just address it right now, Kevin Durant's not going to come to the Lakers. He wants to win now. He is better off staying at Oklahoma City or going to the Thunder. But if I'm a guy like Jimmy Butler, who is just coming into the prime of his career, and the Bulls just dumping Derrick Rose, do I take the Bulls' money with a team that's really not going anywhere, with Joakim Noah and Hal Gasol being free agents as well? Or do I go to a team that says, we've got a knucklehead, and D'Angelo Russell loved his commercial, by the way, chucking the phone away from Ben Simmons. But you got D'Angelo Russell, you got Julius Randle, who I think is going to be a lot better of a player than he was last year. He needs to improve his mid-range jump shot, but I thought that physically he played some pretty solid defense at points and times. Not consistent enough. We're not saying that this guy's the next Zach Randolph, but there were periods of times where you looked at him and you saw, this is the type of player. The flicker of potential. Of course, Jordan Clarkson. I mean, he was a second-round pick, and he was still first-team All-NBA on the rookie team. So you've got a solid scorer like him who can put up 17, 18 points, and then you add a coach like Luke Walton who will give you that freedom to operate. I'm seeing a very, very beautiful picture, and shout out to Adolfo Perez, who I foolishly bet last year that the Lakers were going to make the playoffs, and I ended up taking them out to sushi, took them to an all-you-can-eat sushi buffet. But this year, I feel that this team is going to make progressions. Now, we'll see what happens in the free agency. Not going to call it playoffs yet, but if they can get, maybe Bismack Biyombo,
I'll call it.
You'll call it?
Playoffs this year.
He'll call
and
it.
They're going to be exciting to watch again. For all the people who said that the Lakers weren't worth watching because they're so bad, they're worth watching. They're going to be exciting. They beat Golden State with a team of basically rookies.
Yeah.
I mean, Russell was Russell was a rookie. Clarkson was a rookie.
This wasn't Stephen Curry taking a night off. This was the fully loaded Warriors team. I mean, did they have an off night shooting wise? Sure. Should they have thrown the ball in a little bit more to Festus Ezeli? Probably. But instead of looking at that as being 73-9, you're looking at potentially 74-8 if the Lakers don't win that game. So, it's just a lot of optimism with this Lakers team. And now we're going to move on to the specific expectations that Brandon Ingram has. What are your expectations for him, and how do you think he's going to handle coming into LA and being put up into the environment that has won 16 championships? Kobe just retired. You've got Magic and Kareem right out your back door. How do you think he's going to handle all this and deal with the pressure of being a Laker?
Well, he's a Duke boy. Duke has, they're the Lakers of college basketball. I mean, they have you go to them and you have an expectation that you're really talented. They're not, they're not a team where you go and okay, you're the star of a bad team. This is Duke. This is, this is the best basketball team in college basketball through history. So I think that handling the expectations of being the best is going to be a lot easier for him to handle. But this is LA and there is media. It's the same thing when you talk about people who go to New York. Our media is not very nice, and we expect perfection. As a Laker, 2012 was the last time we won a playoff game. We want to win. We want to win more than the Cavs wanted to win. Like the fact that we've gone 4 years without playoffs is unconscionable. It's ridiculous.
I mean to think about the fact that the Lakers probably have more championships than most teams in the NBA have playoff appearances. I mean, the fact that the Lakers have gone, what was it, 5 years without a championship, it feels like a lifetime. And, for some teams like Atlanta, who've actually never won a championship, I mean, they've been in the playoff mix, speaking of which, Al Horford, the other free agent that the Lakers could get. But in terms of the expectation for Brandon Ingram, I mean, I think the beauty of Brandon Ingram is the fact that, the media has basically taken this notion of, okay, well, you know what, this is what's coming. We've accepted the fact that, this team is going to, go through its lumps and it's going to go through its difficult times. But with that expectation, I think that the pressure isn't as much as, say, somebody going to New York or to Philadelphia, who is an absolute mess right now.
By the way, I had one little tidbit I wanted to add.
Yeah.
That the last time that Cleveland won a championship, the Warriors also lost in the finals. And as far as NBA championships go, the Lakers have 16, the Celtics have 17. The next team in line is the Spurs with 6.
Yeah.
That's a huge gap between the top two teams and everyone else.
Yeah, but with that expectation aside, I think reality is set in. That's like, okay, we've got this young team with a lot of young prospects. I mean, even if the Lakers somehow didn't get a Kevin Durant and they had to settle up on maybe somebody like DeMar DeRozan or somebody who is not as big on the spectrum as the Lakers would like it, I think that the Lake culture has taken this role of, okay, we're going to be patient with this team. We're going to watch these guys grow. I mean, you look at the Warriors, for an example, a franchise that was going nowhere until Jerry West went there. I mean, they fired Mark Jackson after he made the playoffs consecutive times, hired Steve Kerr, and he just took them to that extra bound and leap to win their first NBA championship in over 40 years. So right now, Brandon Ingram, just take your time, take your time to get adjusted. Take your time to get settled. All right. You don't want to, overwork yourself. Don't want to rush anything. Just play your style of game and trust in Luke Walton. I think that's the only thing that the Lakers can do. And any final thoughts before we move on to my Dodgers?
Well, I'm not excited when we move on to the Dodgers.
That's okay. We'll move on to your Giants too. 10 of 11.
We can talk about both.
Of course.
The Dodgers.
Of course, we'll start off with the Dodgers. Dodgers have won 6 in a row. Giants, meanwhile, have won 10 of 11. Dodgers won their last one on probably one of the most bizarre and unlikely walk-off wins in the history of baseball. I'm still looking at that play yesterday. Yasiel Puig hitting a liner to Chris Taylor, who's coming up on the run, comes up and looks at his glove and like, wow, no ball. Ball skips right to the wall.
I think
Yasiel Puig touches them all.
That's like when Kemp hit, Pence hit like a blue fly ball in the ninth inning tie game against the Padres, and Kemp's running in to get it, and he's got it, and he goes, whoa, it's over here, and Belt scores from the first to give us the walk-off. I mean, it was just one of those things, like, it was just, that whole series was Murphy's Law for the Nationals. I mean, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. The Kershaw-Strasburg matchup
did not happen.
Game 2, Yasmani Grandal hits the game winner.
Hits a game-winning home run after the Dodgers barely got 6 hits off of a guy that was throwing pretty well. All of a sudden, single walk. What was it? Peterson with the walk. Howie Kendrick with the single down the line. Grandal won it for them, and then of course the Nationals. Meanwhile, man, Bryce Harper is hitting 250, definitely not looking like the MVP that he was last year. I think that has a little bit to do too with the fact that when he played the Cubbies in their last series, that he basically walked the entire time, and I think as a result, his swing and himself, he's just not in rhythm right now at the plate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big Bryce Harper fan, but I don't think he's been that impressive. And as I said, the Dodgers are the Nationals of the NL West, and the Nationals of the Dodgers of the NL East. They're both teams that have huge payrolls, have huge expectations, have very talented players in Strasburg and Kershaw and Harper and Puig, but yet have not lived up to their potential. Yeah, well, some of that has to also do with injuries, and Michael Wacha ends up beating Haley Ramirez in the Reds and not getting suspended. I'm still not over that. But meanwhile, the one thing that the Dodgers can look at is the fact that this bullpen has improved. Their ERA in June was pretty impressive, 2.47. That's best in the big leagues. Fourth behind, which is the Giants, who, honest to God, we should all be talking about right now. I mean, the Giants right now, it's an even year. They're hitting the ball. They've got the pitching to back up that offense. I kind of envy you being a Giants fan right now, because you guys are, even with the Dodgers' hot streak, you guys have won every single game. The Giants are still hotter, right? The Giants are still hotter. I mean, they've won 6 in a row, and yet we're still 5.5 games back of the division. And because of the way that things are stacked in the NL East and the NL Central, I think that the team that wins the NL West is the only team that's going to make the playoffs. There's going to be no wild card. It's either the Giants or the Dodgers. One of those teams is going to have to win the division. I think that the Dodgers or the Giants, they both could win. They both could win a wild card spot, and I don't think it's that far fetched. But I think it's going to be. I mean, the Giants are 10 of 11, but have not even gamed a game on the Dodgers. I mean, gamed half a game yesterday because we won and the Dodgers didn't play. But there was a point in time where 15 days and neither team moved every day. Because if the Dodgers won, the Giants won. If the Dodgers lost, the Giants lost. It was 2 weeks where these teams were so evenly matched. And I feel like it's gonna be a tight race like it was last year.
And the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that.
I mean, Colorado and Arizona, they thought they were cute and they thought they could be competitive this year. But it's really the NL West is going to go to the Dodgers, the Giants.
It's just the natural cycle of life. Here's the thing with the Dodgers, and the reason why the Giants ultimately, I think, have the Dodgers beaten while you guys have won. What is it? 3 World Series? Yeah, 3 World Series that the Giants have won in this millennium. The Dodgers have still failed to win a World Series since Kirk Gibson's walk-off home run in the 80s against Dennis Eckersley. The problem with the Dodgers is that they are extremely streaky. I mean, when Yasiel Puig is on his game, I mean, it's like he's almost the MVP of baseball.
Back, by the way.
What?
Came back from Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah, just came back from Rancho Cucamonga. Very, very productive. Even with his time off from that hamstring injury, because of the defense that he played earlier in the year, he's still 12th in the major leagues in defensive assists. So, but when Yasiel Puig gets hot, it's almost like he's the best player in all of baseball. But with that streakiness also comes the lulls, which is where the Giants, where
I mean, Buster Posey's had some really bad stretches this year. I think there was a point in time where he was 0 for 18, and he did that twice. And we have no Hunter Pence is out until next month. Angel Pagan has been on and off the DL. Like, the fact that the Giants are still as hot as they are, even with all the trouble that they've gone through. I mean, Matt Duffy just had an Achilles sprain. He's out for another 3 weeks. Like, Casilla has been having a bit of a rocky start. I mean, he's blown 4 saves already.
One of them to the Dodgers.
And Peavy, I mean, I can't fault the guy because he's definitely putting effort into it. He's definitely trying. He's just had some really bad games. But, I mean, solid pitching, solid hitting, timely hitting, which is a thing that the Dodgers have struggled with this year.
Bingo. Runners in scoring position. That's the equalizer. I'm actually looking forward, though, to Friday series because after you guys put a beating on the Pirates, hopefully the Dodgers can do the same thing. Came back
from a 6-1 deficit to win.
Bingo. Anyway, now is it 6 back or is it 5 back?
I think they're 5.5 back.
No, because the Dodgers had the off day.
Alright, I will check right now.
Meanwhile, while he's checking that, we're moving on to U.S. versus Argentina. A 4-0 loss by the U.S. And honestly, as bad as the number looks on the board, this is an Argentina team that is playing with some of the best players in the entire world. And what they did to the United States was show exactly that. They are just a better soccer nation. They've got better players. They've got better footwork. I mean, everything about Argentinian soccer was highlighted in that game with Lionel Messi scoring 2 goals, adding the assists. I mean, that free kick has probably got to be.
You could have 5 goalies in that net, and none of them would have blocked that.
Yeah,
Neuer couldn't have blocked that. Neuer is basically the best goalie that's ever played the game.
Yeah, that goal is probably the set piece goal of the entire year. I mean, what Argentina did. I mean, it didn't help the fact that I felt that the U.S. was playing a little bit soft because of the fact that they had drawn all those yellow cards with Bobby Wood and with Jermaine Jones. So I think that they were playing a little bit tentative and not as aggressive defensively. But at the same time, too, with a team like Argentina, you need to do the opposite. You need to swarm them. You need to do whatever you can to rough up Lionel Messi. But obviously, with that goal in the 3rd minute, I mean, you knew it was over literally from the beginning.
Argentina is, and most people don't realize this, Argentina is a very different team than they were, I'd say, 7-8 years ago when they played in the World Cup in Germany, where it was flop, 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 get the ball missed. flop, 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 give the ball to Messi. Now they have a team where they actually put together talent, and their passing accuracy is ridiculous, and that's just I gotta welcome Argentina. Like they were like, oh, you thought you were good, like you thought like because you won your group, because Colombia finished behind you, even though they beat you. Like you thought Colombia was good, we're better, we're gonna show you. And I mean those goals were just people being better, like Argentina just being better than us.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to say at first. I mean, because I was watching leading up to this game, and I was thinking to myself, man, is this really kind of like when the Dream Team, like the '92 Dream Team, or when the U.S. Olympic team with LeBron James and well, LeBron's not playing, but with Carmelo Anthony, with DeMarcus Cousins, with Paul George, and when all of our best basketball players they go and play against the rest of the world in the FIBA World Cup or in the Olympics. Was it going to be like that? I wanted to give our guys a little bit more respect than that just to see what would happen, but it was exactly like that. I mean, this was a team that, position to position, from the defenders to the midfielders to the forwards to the bench players to even the coaches, they were just all in all flat out better than us. And the reason why I say again it was the most important game in U.S. history was because of the fact that a whole generation of young kids, about 9 to 10 years old, got to watch Lionel Messi on the TV on
He took
Fox.
on 4 defenders and still had a clean shot at goal.
Just keep adding on, man. I mean, it was so beautiful to watch that even the American Outlaws, love that fan base. They support the USA team very, very well. Please ignore that phone call. That USA team, that the USA fans, I mean, they came out very, very passionate. We're expecting something more, but in that second half, they were just astonished and just watching in awe of what Argentina was doing to its team. And honestly, that's nothing that you can root against. That's just being impressed by an opponent that's just better than you. And a whole generation of soccer fans, kids 10, 11. I have a neighbor across the street who plays
the number 2 team in the world.
who plays soccer.
No idea how it's done.
Yeah, and a whole generation of young kids got to see Lionel Messi. You know what they're gonna do is they're gonna go to their camps, they're gonna go to their games, they're gonna go to their practices, and they're gonna try to replicate everything that Lionel Messi did and say, if Messi can do this, a guy that's 5'6" and has got one leg that's big.
Who was cut from his travel team at the age of 11 because he was too short.
Man, my goodness, Zach, you were kicking my butt in terms of stats, man, oh man. But like you said, and they're gonna say, they're gonna look at Messi and they're gonna say, dang, Lionel Messi can do this. Let me see if I can replicate some of that. I mean, part of the reason why the European game in basketball is so much better is because of what they saw in Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and they kind of took their own style and their own flavor, and develop their game. And now you could say that European basketball is now at least competitive compared to what it used to be when Team USA was just beating teams like Croatia, like Lithuania, like Spain by a good 40 to 50 points. And I think the same thing could be said about U.S. soccer, that there's somebody out there who's going to say, dang, man, let's see if I can do this. About 10 years from now, they come to that age where they're playing for Team USA, and who knows, maybe we've got a soccer prodigy like Lionel Messi for the U.S. I mean, you've seen the progression with guys like Christian Pulisic, who at 17 years old is going to be playing in the Bundesliga league in Japan with Chicharito, the best in all of Germany. So you're seeing the regression. So as bad as that loss hurt, and as weird as it was to watch, the USA
It was the best way to lose 4-0.
Bingo. Absolutely. We'll end it there. So now, Derrick Rose gets traded to the New York Knicks. Now you've got Derrick Rose, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Nance, Porzingis. Of course, the Knicks also have a lot of money in the salary cap where they can go out and get a big free agent as well. And Phil Jackson has openly said that they're trying to pursue Kevin Durant.
So if you're a medical student, the Knicks are going to be hiring. So, send your applications to them.
Yeah, no,
They're going to need a bigger medical staff now.
Yeah, there's a meme out there that had an ambulance and it said now arriving for the New York Knicks, Derrick Rose. However, I do believe in this though, that because Derrick Rose has got now a newer environment to deal with, he can kind of leave that Chicago path behind. I mean, people are always going to give him that stuff about him being injured and whatnot, but at least he has a chance to, at least get a breath of fresh air, play with somebody that will do this, that will do the scoring for him. I mean, he had that last year in Jimmy Butler, but at the same time too, he was still the guy in Chicago.
He was the Bulls.
He was the Bulls.
He was supposed to be Michael Jordan, but he didn't really have a Scottie Pippen until Jimmy Butler came along.
Mm-hmm. And by that time, he just the injuries and just ran out of gas. But now you get to New York.
The Knicks are saying maybe he's our Pippen for Melo's Jordan, because Melo is the guy that has to carry the team. Melo and Rose are both people who had the weight of the team put on their shoulders. Like, the Knicks live and die by Melo. Melo puts up. It's like Damian Lillard with Portland. They live and die by their superstar. They don't have a Klay Thompson. They don't have a Kyrie Irving yet. And that's what the Knicks are trying to do. Is they're trying to say, look, we have Melo and we have Derrick Rose. Maybe those two together can lead us to some success, because the Knicks have been kind of a laughing stock.
Yeah, but
the Cleveland Browns of the NBA.
I wouldn't go that far.
Maybe the Sixers would be the Cleveland Browns.
I mean, okay, you know what? Nothing is as bad or as embarrassing as the Cleveland Browns. Let's just get that one back here, right? I mean, at least the Knicks don't have fellas walking around. I mean, they did have J.R. Smith, and they did have Stephon Marbury, who pretty much put the team back. But it's not like those guys did what Johnny Manziel or any of the other guys or any of the felons down in Cincinnati, but the Cincinnati Bengals have done. So I wouldn't go that far, but this does prove a point that Phil Jackson did mean business, that this wasn't just, some joke that Phil Jackson was just going to come to New York and then still have his side love affair with Lakers co-owner Jeannie Buss. He meant to come here. Yeah, and hey man, the long distance relationship works. It didn't work for my girlfriend McKenna Next. Shout out to Chi-Town. Speaking of Chicago, but the thing with Phil Jackson is the fact that he has come in and he has made an impact. He has said, okay, not only are we going to get a smart draft pick in Kristaps Porzingis, who unfortunately missed the last 7 games of the year due to injury, but by and far, I felt that he was the second best rookie of the year compared to Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, 7'3", can shoot the ball, has got a pretty solid inside game. Now needs to add on to his muscle and continue to develop. But if you're a Knicks fan right now, at least you're seeing now a progression and a formula of what the Knicks are trying to do. Now, will they ultimately end up doing it? That remains to be seen. But at least the Knicks are no longer the team such as the Brooklyn Nets, who by the way are in disaster mode. I mean, the fact that they traded Thaddeus Young to the Pacers for a 20th pick, a pick that really did not mean much at the end of things. So I think the Knicks are in a lot better position. I think that Derrick Rose is gonna be a little bit better. I don't think he's gonna be nearly as dominant, but he doesn't have to be. He can just fill the role. Feed Carmelo Anthony the ball. Let him drive to the back.
When Anthony's taking some heat, he can draw it off him. He can if Melo's being double teamed, you can get it over to Rose. Rose can take advantage.
And both of those guys, by the way, are at points in times guys when they can just take over games. Now you have two guys on that same team that when one of them is having an off night, okay, Derrick Rose, let's see what you can do. Put up 20, 24 points. Carmelo Anthony doesn't have to have those 40-point games. Maybe 27 to 28. Give Derrick Rose 24 to 25. Have him a couple of assists, and then have Kristaps Porzingis averaged 17 and 12 rebounds a game. Top to bottom, liking what the Knicks did. Hoping that Derrick Rose doesn't get injured. Now moving on back to the draft. Who do you think was your steal of that draft?
I mean, I'm gonna have to go with the center that from Croatia that the Lakers got.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he was a first round talent that slipped into the second, and he's definitely going to fit that second need that the Lakers had. So he kind of just fell right into their lap, and they were like, "We'll take it."
Yeah, 7'1", 260, 20 years old. Because Zavika, I mean, a lot of good players have come out of Croatia. I mean, Mario Hazanja, one of those players for the Orlando Magic, who was drafted in the first round this year. Tons of upside. I saw him playing in some FIBA games, and his athletic ability. I mean, he's a nasty player. There's been a lot of good players that have come out of Croatia. My steal of the job, though, I mean, even though he was selected second overall, was Brandon Ingram. And here's why. The 76ers, I mean, we mentioned earlier in the program that, the 76ers had a chance to either go with the most athletic player or do something different by maybe going with the player that can provide you the most longevity and provide you, a scoring option. Instead, you just added a fourth center, and as good as I think Ben Simmons is, and as good as he is going to be, you've got a roster filled with Joel Embiid, Nerlens Noel, Jahlil Okafor. Now you add him into the mix. I mean, I'm assuming that
nobody's gonna dunk on them.
But the thing is, though, what are you gonna do against the Warriors? I mean, have Nerlens Noel guard Stephen Curry. I mean, this is a guard-filled league. Not to say that the center has less of an impact, but you know what?
We could look into getting Thomas Walker, who went undrafted, but I am hoping that he can go someplace and play because I think he's very talented. He played for Stephen F. Austin. Solid shooter, solid free throw. Really embraced the point guard role. Definitely not a starter. He's not Steph Curry. He's not going to lead a team to victory. But I think he's a solid player, and I feel like he could go someplace and be a huge impact.
All right. So and just to finish off with Ingram, I mean the 76ers had an opportunity to go with somebody who could score and get them buckets. Instead, you just add basically what you've been doing the last 3 years, is hoping to get an athletic guy who can block some shots, play some defense, and possibly carry your team. So top to bottom, good job, Knicks. Mitch Kupchak, you've been given a lot of crap for what has happened for these past few seasons. A lot of it had to do with bad luck. A lot of it had to do with age. I mean, everybody's got a stink at one point, but I think that the stinking road that the Lakers have been going through these past couple of seasons is now not starting to stink as much. Now, moving on, we've got 8 awesome UEFA matches coming up this week. We got Switzerland and Poland. We got Wales versus Northern Ireland. We got Croatia versus Portugal. We got France versus the Republic of Ireland. How do you separate the two? One's north, one's south.
Yeah, Republic of Ireland is south.
And Germany versus Slovakia. Hungary, Dad, stay hungry. Versus Belgium. Italy versus Spain, and England versus Iceland. What matchup are you most intrigued about, and why?
I really like the Ireland and Italy matchup. Right? Ireland and Italy.
It's France versus Republic of Ireland, and then Wales versus Northern. Yeah, France versus Ireland.
France is hosting this tournament, and Ireland got in on what was arguably like a movie-made moment against Italy. I think it was the 92nd minute that they scored. They had to win against Italy. Italy was already going, but they had to win against Italy to make it as a qualifier, and they scored. Northern Ireland, they won their first game since 1983, so I'm super excited for them. But as they are playing who?
They're playing Wales with Gareth Bale.
And Gareth Bale has got 4 goals.
Yeah, Gareth Bale has been the epitome of dominance this UEFA.
Wales, like Northern Ireland, you had fun. I'm glad you made the qualifier, but I don't feel like they can stand up. Switzerland versus Poland. You have 2 teams that can be exciting to watch, but haven't really, they don't really have the star power or the excitement that most other teams have. Croatia versus Portugal. Is Portugal going to win a game or lose a game? Like, this would be the first of either, because they tied against Wales and they tied their other 2 games in their group, or against Hungary. They tied against Hungary.
Yeah. You know who's not winning was that reporter that tried to ask Ronaldo a question. And Ronaldo took his microphone and chucked it into whatever lake. I don't know. Should he been fined for
No.
for littering?
For having no.
Nah, he's good. Yeah.
All right.
No. My favorite matchup has got to be England versus Ireland. All right.
Iceland.
I mean, excuse me. I knew that.
Iceland's first appearance in a international tournament in, I don't know, like 20 plus years.
Yeah. Well,
the fact that they made it on to the next group is astounding. But then if you look at their group wasn't that enticing as you.
You are right. But here's the thing: with every great tournament like the UEFA, you have to have a Cinderella story. And with a country of 330,000 versus England, which has got Daniel Sturridge, all this young talent. You got Wayne Rooney. I mean, I'm a Liverpool fan, so I want to see Daniel Sturridge do very, very well.
Liverpool blows.
You know what? So do you. What?
Everton all the way. Let's go, Travis.
But here's the thing: every great tournament needs a stunning upset, and I want to see Iceland defeat the British, who just also turned away from the European Union. So I love upsets. I mean, something about this Ireland team seeing nearly their entire country there to watch those games. I'm intrigued. I'm excited. So yeah, England versus Ireland is the matchup for me. And now the question of the day, and this is coming from one of what we got in fan mail. Yes, we get fan mail, right, Zach? Heck yeah, we get fan mail all day long. Send it to 10024 Cozy Croft Avenue. We will answer your questions, or you can just do it the new way, the way the kids do it, which is hit us up on Twitter or Facebook. And this is coming from Yumi Koa, who is asking, why is Luke Walton the right fit for the Lakers? And why do you think that the Lakers will have success with Luke Walton? You want to answer this, or do you want me to answer it first?
Why don't we both answer it? But you can answer first, and I'll answer with my opinion second.
For sure, home field advantage goes to me. And here's the reason why Luke Walton is going to be the right fit for the Lakers. I mean, the fact that he's been able to play with some of the best basketball minds in the entire history of the game, having played college at Arizona with Lute Olson, having to play with Phil Jackson, having won 2 championships with the Lakers, getting to coach under a guy like Steve Kerr, who really understands this new wave of players and really can connect with them in a way that most coaches just have a frustration level with, and kind of doing it into his own style. Also, he's got a very laid-back California-like personality from San Diego. I think the players are going to gravitate more toward him as opposed to Byron Scott, who is a disciplinarian and at times did things that maybe he maybe is questioning whether he should have done that or not by calling out guys in the media like D'Angelo Russell and Julius Randle on their effort. So all I mean, you take in the basketball mind, you take in the confidence level, you take in the fact that when Luke Walton had his first press conference, his players were there to listen to what he had to say, and Russell and Julius Randle were smiling. I mean, they seemed pretty excited. I mean, not just the fact that he just won a championship and, could arguably be coach of the year for leading the Warriors on the second longest run in the history of regular season basketball.
How many games did he coach while Kerr was out? Wasn't Kerr?
Yeah.
How many games did he coach?
Coached around 40.
Around 40. Wow.
So, you take in that aspect, the fact that Luke Walton comes from a winning background, but really it's just going to be about the confidence level and what he's going to do to raise these guys up.
I feel like he's a great pick because of a lot of the reasons that you stated. I mean, great basketball mind, played for a certifiable Hall of Famer in Phil Jackson, but he also was able to handle a team that arguably was very talented all across the board, had a lot of personalities, Curry, Thompson, Draymond, and there was no, they didn't have internal fighting that really got out. And that was something that I feel like Byron Scott, when he was calling players out in the media, or like the whole Snapchat, Instagram, issue, that that's really not an issue that really needs to be settled outside of the team. I mean, if it's an inter-team thing, it needs to be an inter-team thing. He's young. He coached a relatively young team. I mean, the Warriors are not an old team, but they're not the youngest team, which is what the Lakers have. He brings a style of basketball that is very fast-paced. It's very new. That the way that D'Antoni brought a very outdated kind of system. He's also a former Laker, as I said before. So he understands the history and the necessity to win. He's going to be a solid fit, and I think that this is going to be a Lakers turning point. I mean, they're drafting Brandon Ingram, signing Luke Walton. Like, we're not going to be Kobe who in a couple of years, because Kobe is going to be one of the great Lakers that ever played, and played for 18 seasons. Half of his life was as a Laker. I feel like this is going to be a positive step in the right direction. That we're not gonna be, a season down the road and go, if only Kobe was back, or if only they'd done this. We're not gonna be second guessing ourselves at the end of next season.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our show. Thank you for tuning in to the Cali Sports Report. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Ethan A. Hanson.
I'm at TRS Bang 8.
And before we go here, what do you got going on this weekend?
This weekend, I'm just excited to watch the Pirates kick some butt and the Phillies to lose.
Let me guess, the Giants are playing the Phillies?
Giants play the Phillies. I'm also excited for Saturday, because Saturday is going to be, 8 games? Or is it split up between Saturday and Sunday?
It's not split up between Saturday and Sunday.
Because it's Saturday.
Yeah, Friday. Saturday, Sunday. Actually, no, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So you have a lot of, you have the Euro going on. You have the finals of the Copa in what was arguably one of the weirdest semifinals between Chile and Colombia, where it was just not a good place to be at. Apparently, I mean, you had 4 yellow cards, 1 red card. It was a rough matchup. So you're gonna see if Argentina can bring some hardware back home.
And meanwhile, the USA has got their third place game against Colombia. They'll be at full strength with trying to avenge an earlier loss in pool play. For me, today I'm going to see Ron at World Peace Rap. Yes, the man known as Ron Artest, the former Defensive Player of the Year, former All-Star, also known as the man who got into a fight, and pretty much I would say is one of the reasons why basketball is not as crazy as it was. Phone's ringing. Don't answer it, folks. But yeah, I'm gonna go see Ron Rookies rep today with my buddy EP the Dreamer. Shout out to Ian Polikoff, aka EP the Dreamer, as he'll be playing tonight somewhere down in Wilshire. Not sure where it is, but that's why we got Google Maps, right, ladies and gentlemen? Anyway, that's our show. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you Monday.